Hey everybody, Coach Coral here for another edition of Training Tip Tuesday. I hope everybody is staying safe, staying well, and just maintaining as positive an outlook as we possibly can at this point in time. Today's topic is pretty timely. We're going to talk about cross training, and this is certainly a good season of time to be investigating different ways that we can stay active, and especially because this can contribute to maintaining good mental health and just let off a little bit of steam and a little bit of anxiety and stress as well. So cross training is really good, especially for endurance athletes, and particularly if you're doing swim, bike, run, doing a lot of cycling, do a lot of running. We tend to stay in a very one plane of movement. A lot of it is just forward focus. We don't do a lot of rotational movements or cross body movements that really challenge our movement patterns. So we tend to develop things like overuse injuries, muscle imbalances, and so for this reason in particular, we look to cross-training modalities for just maintaining a healthy body and injury prevention. So a couple of the most basic and most beneficial modes of cross-training. One is yoga, and there are many different types of yoga. We actually did a really fun yoga challenge last month in the team group and explored different types of yoga. And there are many, many free resources on YouTube. And as we go through these, I'm going to also let you guys know some really great free resources that are available at this time. And hopefully you can go check these out as we're doing some different types of training in this moment. So some really great YouTube resources. Many people are familiar with Yoga with Adriene. She's a certified yoga instructor based in Austin. She's got a really fun, quirky style, and she does many different types of flows that are really geared towards anybody who's looking to get into yoga. Another one that I have utilized personally for a couple different periods in time is Bad Yogi, and it's a gal named Erin Motz, and this is also on YouTube. There are a couple free 21-day challenges. I think there's a 30-day challenge as well. And so Yoga with Adriene and Bad Yogi, Erin Motz, both of those are really well done, and definitely scaled and cued for people who are just getting familiar with yoga. There's another, I think it's called Yoga with Tim, Yoga by Tim. Tim Sinesi is a practitioner out in California, and he is also a very wonderful practitioner, YouTube-based, and provides some really good cues and movement options in the yoga style. So, excuse me. And then as far as other modalities, you can look at mobility. And there are some also great resources, and I'll share some links below so you guys can go check these out. Mobility is also not necessarily a cross training, but something that we should always be doing to make sure that our joints are able to have full range of motion and that you're able to move efficiently. And so you can look at things like controlled articular rotations, just some basic movement patterns and whatnot. Daily mobility flow is also a really good thing to just incorporate at the beginning of your day to ensure that you're getting your body warmed up just for daily life, but also something that you can do prior to, like you can do mobility specific to the workouts that you're about to do to prep your body for that training session. So there's mobility specific to cycling, running. We've done some swimming stuff recently with the team. That's been quite a bit of fun. So definitely check some of those out. And then of course, strength training. So I am, as my athletes well know, I'm a very big fan, very big proponent of incorporating functional strength training, functional movement into your endurance training routines at least twice a week for at least 30 to 40 minutes. One, this helps you become, so by functional movement, we mean moving in like a free-form flow. And these types of movements directly translate to more efficiency as an athlete and just better general well-being overall. And so so you're looking at things like body weight movement, kettlebell is really great, TRX straps. So honestly, quite a number of things that you can do in your home or outside, which makes it quite accessible and a lot of fun. But the biggest thing here is making sure that you are taking your time to perform these movements efficiently, correctly, and with intention, so that you're not just moving through what kind of looks like a strength training movement, but that you're actually getting the best benefit and the most bang for your buck, if you will, while preventing injury. So we're excuse me, got a frog in my throat. So we'll be covering some of these things in the team group in the coming couple of weeks, especially as we look into the best ways to stay physically active during this time where many of us are a bit scaled back in how far out we can venture at the moment. And so just to recap, if you want to look at some neat things that you can do to stay active and cross-train, check out some yoga, check out some mobility, and of course, as always, strength train. Very important for staying healthy, but also just kind of a fun thing to check into at this moment. Just as a side note, broader quick note as far as training in this moment. I know this is a really challenging time for a lot of us. And so first off, if you ever just need to talk to somebody, you can reach out to me, you can reach out to Coach Ray, reach out to each other, and just make a point to check in with someone each day that you may not have talked to in a while, or that you just kind of seems like they're being a little bit more silent than usual. Everybody could definitely use a friendly hello and just a checkpoint to make sure that they're knowing that they're looked out for and that they matter, especially in this moment of high tension, high anxiety, and stress. Also, take some moments each day as you get started. I always recommend to sleep with your phone in another room, once so that we're not trying to fall asleep while scrolling through all of this crazy news that's being thrown at us, both from social and from your regular news outlets, but also that you're not waking up, and that is your first instinct to check to see what's going on. Get your day started in a lower stress flow. So wake up, take a few minutes, a couple seconds even, just to think of 1, 2, 3 things that you're grateful for. Look out the window, take some mindful breaths, and just get your day started out with some good intention. Take the time, walk outside, grab a cup of coffee or tea, and just find some positivity and some mental space, and just a bit of a pause and a break from all of the craziness that is only at our fingertips if we wish it to be. And then also, my third quick tip for staying as balanced as possible in this time is definitely stay active, especially as many of us are working from home in this moment. We don't have to walk outside, we don't have to walk all the way down the road, etc. And so the space in which we're moving is quite a bit smaller than it was. And so if you've got your lovely Garmin that has movement prompts that can help you realize when you've been sitting or sedentary for 30 to 45 minutes, turn that feature back on. I know sometimes we want to curse it as athletes, but that is a really helpful tool just to kind of break you out of your workflow and go, oh, okay, and stand up, walk around, take a peek outside, but just staying active throughout our day at just a general moving around life pace is really helpful to stay fresh, keep us from getting super creaky, and just keeping that good balance of energy going. And then also, I know many of us have more hours in the day since we're not commuting. It's easy to take this time and take the temptation to fill it with lots of high intensity exercise to burn off the stress and whatnot. But I really do want to, from a health educator standpoint, stress that, now may not actually be the best time to try and make performance gains in your training, because as we place stress on our system, which is really what we do when we're training for an event, it does compromise our immune system. So in order to stay healthy and resistant from any sort of illness that may hopefully not come our way, but that we may encounter, we want to stay as resilient as possible with our health and with our immune system. So definitely stay active. That does promote positive immunity, but just be mindful of your recovery time and doing too many high intensity sessions back to back, so that you're not overloading your system's ability to keep you well. So if anybody has any questions about working from home, please feel free to reach out if you have questions about collaborating remotely with teams. I know that this is not necessarily on the topic of triathlon, but it's something that I have deep experience in, having worked remotely and collaborated with teams very effectively across the US and across the globe for at least 5 years now. So please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions about working remotely, staying active, or utilizing virtual platforms. Always happy to help. And just sending the best, positive, amazing vibes to you guys. This is an unprecedented time that we're in, and I hope that we are taking this opportunity to reconnect, stay present, and be as mindful as possible with our communities, with our families, and with ourselves. So take care, stay well, stay safe, and definitely now more than ever, don't forget to be a badass every day. Love you guys.